Are teaching how to divide fractions. This is our first attempt. All right, John, teach us, how would you divide fractions? What do you know?
So, to take first, for simple, for beginners, you take whole numbers, which are going to be like regular numbers. We're gonna start with 12 divided by 3. And you know you can take 3 away from 12 4 times, which is easy. Now, if you want to make a fraction, you have to always put the large number on top of a 1. So we're going to do 12 1 divided by 3 1. Which equals which you can take 12, you can take 3 out of 12 4 times and 1 out of 1 time, which equals 4 ones, or if you reduce it, 4, which is the same as the first one.
Alright, nice discussion. Alright, can we continue the discussion, Kyla? Nice.
If you have 8/15, if you have 2/3 divided by 3/5, and they're not in common, and it's not as easy as the one John just did, you can switch the second fraction, which was 3/5, and you can switch it and make that 5/3 times. You change, instead of dividing, you change it to times. So it'll be 2/3 times 5/3, and you multiply that. You multiply 2 times 5 and 3 times 3, and 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 3 is 9, and then it'll come up to an improper fraction, which will be 10 ninths, and you reduce it to 1 and 1/8.
Alright, so it converts to 1 and 1/9. Get a round of applause. Very nice job. Now I did hear you. I want to hear a mathematical term. If you flip, are you going to give me the mathematical term? Alright. So you start us off. You second. And I want to hear third. Go for it.
If you have a fraction such as 2/3 divided by 3/4, and they're not equivalent, you can turn the 2/3 into 10/15 and 3/4 into 9/15, and that will equal 10 ninths over 1, or it would be equal to 10 ninths, or it would be equal to 1 and 1/9. And if you invert multiply, you can do 2/3 times 5/3, so you switch the numerator and the denominator backwards, which would be 5/3.
Do you know what to call that?
Orientated.
Anybody know what to call that when you flip your fraction?
It's inverted.
I'm listening.
It's called the reciprocal.
We agree with a reciprocal?
Yes.
Reciprocal means to do what again?
To flip it around or to turn it.
Or
Right?
it can be called inverted.
We want to see, if you see the word reciprocal, you know what invert means. So another synonym, reciprocal, right? Because in math, you're probably going to see the word reciprocal. And just know that it means what? Invert. It means to turn around, to turn upside down, right? And what do you do to the operation sign?
Change that by multiplying.
By multiplying, right? Now, what we got to get to understand, why in the world do you find the reciprocal of the second fraction and why put a multiplication sign, right? It's like, we know, it's like, okay, that's what it told me to do. They told me to flip that upside down and multiply. But we don't know why. They just told us to do it. Now we got to get to the, why does that work? Why should we do that? All right? But you do understand, is division any more difficult than the multiplication? What's the 2 steps? What's the 2 steps?
Look at it and see. Well, it's more.
Well, you see how many times can the smallest number go into the biggest number.
But what do you, okay, if the problem is set up and you see that division sign, what do you know you're going to need to do? You're going to, okay, you're going to end up dividing, but you gotta change your operation, right? What is it going to change to? Multiplication. And what do you do to that second fraction?
Reciprocate.
It inverts. You do the reciprocal of it every single time, right? Now let's do one that has that whole number.